Civil rights organizations in Iowa have been fighting voter suppression in federal court over the past week. In Des Moines, on Wednesday, October 30th, the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU of Iowa, and their attorneys represented those impacted by a list put out by the Secretary of State, Paul Pate. The list identified over 2,000 registered voters his office said should be challenged due to questionable citizenship status. The ACLU filed a federal lawsuit on behalf of 4 naturalized citizens on Pate's list and the League of United Latin American Citizens of Iowa to stop the wrongful citizenship challenges. Though the injunction was denied by the court on Sunday, November 3rd, the lawsuit caused quite the stir regarding voter suppression in Iowa. I had the opportunity to speak with one of the state leaders of LULAC, Iowa, regarding voter suppression laws and the recent lawsuit to fight it. Joe Henry, State Political Director of LULAC, Iowa, explained how voter suppression has manifested in Iowa over the past 12 years.
These voter suppression laws have been put forward, and they actually started in the 1980s. But here in Iowa, there's been a big push on them over the last 12 years. They have not only impacted Latinos and people from the Black community and other diverse communities, but also young and old, with the type of techniques that have been used to make it more difficult to vote, to register to vote.
Looking specifically at Iowa Secretary of State Pate's directive, Henry shared how the directive harmed voters.
What Pate did with his press release back, I believe it was October 24th, when he sent that out, it sent a chilling effect amongst those who are new citizens, basically saying that if you cannot prove that you are a naturalized citizen, you will have created a criminal act, a felony. And it has been very confusing for those who are new citizens. Some have worried that they have wondered if they should even vote because they might be held accountable with this directive that was sent out through this press release.
As a result of the directive from Pate, the ACLU of Iowa and their attorneys filed a federal lawsuit which went to court on Friday, November 1st. On Sunday, November 3rd, the injunction was denied by the court. However, the lawsuit did result in an action on the side of the Secretary of State to confirm the citizenship of 88% of the list of naturalized citizens that had challenges. However, despite the decision of the lawsuit, LULAC, Iowa, and ACLU intend to take steps going forward to keep protecting the right to vote for Iowan citizens and fight against voter suppression.
So it's created an impact. We don't know how much of an impact, but to lose even one opportunity of a new citizen to prevent them from voting is a travesty. Our next steps, we have to have some meetings with the Secretary of State before the state legislature goes back into session. And then we have to prepare for what may happen in the state legislature.
A major part of efforts in protecting the right to vote across minority groups is the impact of college-aged voters.
Our young people are seeing things that our older generation did not see. Many of our young people are going through bouts of poverty, living in homes where they're on the verge of not making their house payments, not being able to put food on the table. So they're seeing some really dangerous things happen in the economy. And they realize that what is happening with themselves is occurring due to what's happening legislatively across the country. So we're seeing changes happen. And we're thankful for the youth vote.
We reached out to the office of the Iowa Secretary of State, Paul Pate, for comment and received Pate's press releases regarding the lawsuit and the court's responses. In his November 3rd press release following the court's ruling, Pate stated, "Today's ruling from the federal district court is a win for Iowa's election integrity. U.S. elections are for U.S. citizens, and ensuring only eligible voters participate in Iowa's election process is essential to protecting the integrity of the vote." Pate also emphasized that his role requires balance, ensuring that on one hand, every eligible voter is able to cast their ballot, while also ensuring that only eligible voters participate in Iowa elections. Pate also announced that his office is going to continue to seek clarity of the individuals who have self-reported as non-citizens, and once again urged the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services Office in Washington, D.C. to permit the Iowa field office to release this clarifying information to us, which is critical to ensuring only U.S. citizens vote in our elections. Voter suppression is an issue for all voters in Iowa, even if you don't belong to a minority group. It's important that all eligible voters are able to cast their ballots and perform their civic duty to ensure that democracy is protected and our government properly represents its citizens.